I'm a psychologist in politics, and this is not very helpful because I have a lot of dilemmas. In politics, a lot of dilemmas are bringing you in an unsustainable situation. I had to follow what Ivo is telling us because I have to control him, because they are making many problems in international arena, and I'm trying to correct everything. But really, we are very close friends, and I'm very happy to hear what Slovenians are telling us about current situation. And I would like to emphasize a few things that I consider very important right now. And I would like to talk about valid political patterns and impact of political psychology of the modern world at the crossroads of epochs. I think it can be interesting to analyze what happened and in which world we are living. And we have to make a step back in terms of analyzing world orders existing from 1944 until nowadays. And when we were analyzing that, we can see that even the dialogue between Brits and Americans was very interesting. If someone is thinking that Brits and Americans were always close allies, in terms of establishing new orders, it's not happened. In fact, Americans have been blackmailing Brits by imposing kind of rules to them. That was the end of the Second World War, and the British economy was falling down, close to bankruptcy. And Americans has been insisting the new world orders. They didn't allow the Brits to keep kind of preferentials in the trading. That was very difficult, and that was a crystal clear sign that Americans are against domination of Great Britain. And that was crystal clear sign that Americans are taking over domination. When I'm hearing Professor Mearsheimer and his dialogue with Jeffrey Sachs, he's insisting on domination of the United States in the current world, in relations with China. And which means the domination, which was kept by Brits, and after that Americans, is still very important in international relations. And this is question that I'm asking myself, whether we are going to live sometimes in the world without domination, or we are going to follow that rules strictly all our lives. I'm living on the earth 67 years. I was born 13 years after the Second World War. And I didn't know that I was born only 13 years after the Second World War, but I understood that there was very big impact of Second World War on my lives. And we still have an impact of the Second World War on our lives. Many people are thinking that Second World War is the outcome of economic crisis that happened in the 1930s, which was an outcome of very bad economic rules. And the New World Orders, that was protectionism. And New World Orders were an attempt of changing economic rules and establishing new economic institutions, IMF, World Bank, and other institutions. And the Professor Keynes, who was participating from the British side in establishing new world orders, drawing new rules, was very much against that IMF and World Bank is going to be founded in United States and to have a headquarters in the United States because of trying to avoid somehow domination of the United States. But he wasn't able to do that, and we have, as the outcome of everything what happened and the dialogue between Great Britain, the United States, the orders that are functioning until now, and we see that blackmailing and the domination is characterizing the global relations for many, many decades. Nowadays, we are surprising because Donald Trump is trying to put Zelensky in an unpleasant situation and to impose kind of rules to him. But this is something that is characterizing the world history for decades and centuries. This is something very important that we have to consider right now in a serious, in a specific way. In that respect, I'm asking myself whether we can be optimists or pessimists regarding future of the world. In that respect, I'm asking myself whether we can create kind of efforts in order to avoid any instability in the future and to prevent new conflicts that are going to happen. Just a few things I have to share with you in my political life. And, a few years ago, just before Brexit, I was sitting in the advisory board of one international bank with an interesting group of the people. Romano Prodi was a president, Javier Solana was a vice president, Igor Ivanov, former Minister of Foreign Affairs of Russia, was a member, Alexander Kwasniewski also, Joschka Fischer, and myself. And we talked about whether Brexit is going to happen. All of them have said, no way. No way. Brexit is not going to happen. No way, because European Union is that strong, stable, and this is only association and structure that can offer guarantee insurance for European countries to have a prosperity in the future. I was only who have said, I'm not sure. Not because I was smarter than such a group of the people, because I'm coming from the very specific region. I was witnessing, I experienced very painful history, this forming former Yugoslavia. Day before war started in my country, our Slovenian friend has been explaining a little bit about that. I talked with my Croatian friend in my classroom. No, in that time I was a student, but he was my friend from my classroom, from elementary school. He said, war is coming, Boris. I said, no way. No way. And war came overnight. And sometimes, I think in the international arena, big powers has to use people with a specific experience to add to their experience, our very painful experience, in order to predict better political outcome that is going to happen in the next few years. Sometimes, if you are living in fantastic conditions, you know, to be very rich, living without any challenge, that is making people very lazy, intellectually lazy. People are having very specific habits to live in a good circumstances. People are refusing to even take into the consideration possible very bad outcome, because it's much better to live in atmosphere which is bringing to us very good emotions, something like that. This is very uncomfortable to live in a very bad atmosphere. But I think that we have to be very skeptical right now regarding future history of the mankind, that we have to be very, very careful about what we can predict in the future. I think everything what is happening right now is a simply outcome of the human beings and the nature of the human beings that are having huge impact on behavior of the states. I think that we can bring psychology from the individuals in the field of the state behavior. I think that we have a huge impact of individuals on the state behavior. What we can talk about these aspects and these phenomena. There are a lot of prejudices in terms of state relations. There are many suppression of the memories in the state relations, bad memories in the state relations. There are many trying to justify our very wrong behavior and acts because of trying to bring good experience for us in a current world. I'm going to mention few experiences and few events that happened in the past few years and decades that are bringing all of us in a situation of the war between Palestinian Hamas and Israel, and Hezbollah and Israel, and war in Ukraine, and potential wars in the future. In 2002, United States of America didn't continue agreement on the missiles with the USSR. They simply abandoned that agreement, and nowadays we don't have an agreement. In the meantime, Russia has been producing Sarmater Kinjal. And nowadays I'm reading today news that German media are explaining this is very good news for Zelensky. They are going to give German missile to Ukraine, range 500 kilometers close to Moscow, and they said Moscow don't have answer on that challenge right now. But they are forgetting that Russians are having Sarmat. Sarmat can hit every single city on the American continent going through southern hemisphere, which is not defended. I mean, we are forgetting such a simple things that are crucially important for global security, and that are crucially important in terms of prevention of the world conflict nowadays. But look, the states are behaving like ordinary human beings. We are as individuals forgetting such a simple things, because it's better for us to live in a good atmosphere, not in a very bad atmosphere which is bringing fear in our lives. But we have to be very responsible right now and to understand what's going on with the human society and with the mankind in the future. I'm coming right now to some critical moments that are almost forgotten in international arena. This is Kosovo issue, for example. The Western countries, I talked many times with Miguel Angel about that. But Western countries are simply forgetting that they recognize Kosovo independence, which was violation of international law. I'm right now not talking about what Serbia failed on Kosovo, because as a student, I was defending Albanian rights. I was in the jail because of that. But I didn't defend their rights to be independent from Serbia. I was defending their rights to protest and to say what they want. But as a president of Serbia, I was defending principles. But Kosovo independence was a violation of international law. This is crystal clear. And whoever is right now protesting because of Russia is violating international law regarding territorial integrity of Ukraine is forgetting that domino effect started to be our reality on Kosovo. You cannot be in favor of Kosovo independence, violation of international law and territorial integrity of Serbia and sovereignty of Serbia, but to be against the same principle in Ukraine. And what is also very interesting, big powers are always characterized with a very contradictory interests. Many people in Serbia has been counting on Russia. Russia is going to defend ourselves. Russia has been using Kosovo issue in order to establish their interests in Georgia, Southern Ossetia, Abkhazia, and Ukraine. The first arguments of Vladimir Vladimirovich Putin in talks with Antonio Guterres, our common friend, was, if that was possible on Kosovo, it's possible in Crimea, Donbass. And you don't have an answer, you don't have an argument against that, because you have to have a kind of principles and the rule of law and the orders. And right now we are asking ourselves which kind of orders we are respecting. We are respecting, in fact, in reality, only orders of double standards. And this is disaster. This is simply bringing us in the new conflicts and new wars. We don't have a kind of self-criticism. I'm trying to do that regarding Serbian behavior on Kosovo towards Albanians, Serbian behavior in Bosnia and Herzegovina, in Croatia. Because of that, I was apologizing for the victims, trying to create a new atmosphere with Ivo Josipovic, of course, my friend and my counterpart in Croatia in that time. But I was trying to create a new atmosphere in our relations to show kind of self-criticism and to show kind of responsibility for the future and the vision, what we can do right now. And what we have as outcome of such a policy, double standard policy, very specific, influence of the different standards. We have nowadays new policy in the United States. European Union has been simply following whatever United States are going to say during the deep state power, let's say not democratic power, but deep state power. I was asking them just a few months before elections in the United States, what if United States are going to change to create paramount shift in their policy? Are you going to simply follow their politics? They said they are not going to change their politics. They are not going to create paramount shift. But right now, do you know what we are talking about? Yesterday we talked about whether United States are going to leave United Nations as an institution. They dismantled the USAID program, which was very helpful for many, many countries. Who is going to replace USAID program right now? Which was very helpful for schools, for judiciary system in many, many different countries. Which kind of rules we are going to have to implement in the future? What about European Union? I as a student, in 1979, I was member of an illegal students' organization in favor of European Union, not European Union at that time, that was European community. I was fighting my colleagues, communists at the time. Very interesting experience I had. When I became a president of Serbia, I saw many of them that were members of Communist Party. In the meantime, they became statesmen of the countries that became a member of European Union. They were teaching me what is democracy, which was a bizarre situation. But okay, that's the life. But what is going to be with European Union nowadays? Do we see self-confidence in European Union? Is European Union able to think really about creating their own armed forces? As the president of Serbia, because of being faced with a big problem, being bombed without permission of United Nations Security Council by NATO countries, I had a problem how to bring Serbia in Security Association. And I wanted to see European Union armed forces. That was, kind of step that was more acceptable for Serbian people. Only 4 years after being bombed, we had a 40% of people that supported full membership in the NATO. That was incredible result. I did it as a Minister of Defense with my advisor from Spain, Narcis Serra, who was helping me how to reform armed forces and how to explain what's going on, which kind of interest we have right in that moment. But because of recognition of the Kosovo independence, results dropped from 40% to 5% of the people that supported NATO integration. And look how things are functioning, how world is working. I consider it's very important to have Serbia in the NATO because of European security. I consider very important for the regional security. But simply, I've been facing with the problem of no strategical thinking in international arena, especially among the big powers. I had always problem as a president of Serbia to explain to the Putin and to American presidents what is going to be final outcome of their politics. And nowadays, we are all facing with that problem. I don't know is that good or bad, but we have to learn from the history. My European friends are right now waking up. They're waking up. I see Brits are very much engaged in terms of creating kind of plan for Ukraine. But at the same time, I see Brits are doing that with France. What about Germany and Italy and other countries? They're expelling them from the plan for Ukraine, which is crucially important for European stability and security. Do we have 3, 4, 5 levels of European Union membership? Is that sustainable? I think this is not sustainable. And countries that are right now member state of European Union are having huge discussion, what is going to be with them? We, Serbia, we are applying for European Union membership. We are negotiating. But right now we have a very comfortable situation to see what's going on because nobody is aware what is going to be final outcome. Maybe Everything is possible. Nowadays, only one thing is crystal clear. Everything is possible, which means things are totally unpredictable. If everything is possible, things are totally unpredictable. And nowadays, no one is able to draw new world orders. Who is going to participate in creating new world orders like it was in 1944? This time, United States. Who else? China. Who else? Great Britain. No way. European Union, I hope. But in which capacities right now? And probably Russia. And I am finishing. It's a simple logic. Whenever I talked with my European friends, who has been very much in favor of supporting Ukraine, I was also supporting Ukraine. I was against intervention of Russia in Ukraine always, even though I understand kind of arguments that are coming from Russia. But I was against totally because this is disaster. But I ask them, which kind of strategy you are creating, establishing right now? Which is one of the most dangerous countries in the world? Russia? What are you doing with Russia? We are pushing Russia far away from you. But with Russia, finally, you have to create agreement. How you consider Russia as a potential partner in creating agreement regarding peace in Ukraine if you are pushing Russia far away from you? If you are pushing Russia in the hands of the second most dangerous country regarding strategic interests and interests of domination of United States, which is China. What is going to be the final outcome? What Trump is doing? He's transactionist. He's analyzing and simplifying situation. He sees Russia is on the way. I have to bring Russia. Who is going to pay price? Ukraine. Who else? European Union. What is going to be the final outcome of them? Agreement between Russia and United States. What about natural resources, rare materials? They are going to make deal in Ukraine, but also in Russia. Maybe they are going to make general deal in the future. No one is able to predict what is going to be final outcome. We have to be able to understand we are living really on the crossroad. We don't know what is going to be final outcome of this current situation. We don't know how world is going to look like in next 5 years. In next 5 years, what is going to surprise us? Is it going to be a new war? In accordance with what Trump have said to Volodymyr Zelensky, you are gambling with a new war, world war. Is it going to be new architecture of the world? What is going to be role of the European Union? What is going to be role of the small countries? What is going to be role of the big powers? Are we going to be under huge, unfair domination of the big powers? Is this sustainable in the future or not? I was asking my friend Miguel Angel Moratinos, who is among the European Union leaders right now able even to understand the world in which we are going to live? He mentioned one name. I was very happy because I didn't take into consideration even one name among the European Union leaders. But thank you, Miguel Angel, you are making me very optimistic right now because I wasn't able to see anyone who is able to think strategically and to predict processes ahead of us. We are living in the world which is under domination of the big powers. We are living in the world which is characterizing by political psychology, which is existing forever. And we have to understand the small changes are crucially important right now, and we have to take into consideration every single possibility to create kind of improvement for our lives. Unfortunately, by taking into consideration what Boris Petrovich Njegoš has been explaining these days, technological improvements. We are not living in the era of democracy. In traditional way, we are living in the era of domination of the new technologies. Nobody knows what is going to be final outcome of artificial intelligence, bioengineering, digital world, neuroscience, and a synergy of all these elements and impact in media sector with the social media. No one is able to understand what is going to be impact of this structure, which is very dangerous right now regarding democracy. Are we going to have democracy in the future? I'm finishing with a few words about Serbia. Nowadays in Serbia, students are fighting for the better society. They are fighting against the populism in Serbia. They are fighting against, they are fighting in favor of rules, really rules, and responsibility of politicians. I'm supporting them. I'm supporting them in a very discreet way. I'm not interfering in what they are doing right now. I hope that they are going to be smart enough. They are going to be strategically oriented. They want to do something with their own society because they are going to live in this society. But I don't see a lot of such processes in other countries on the European continent right now. Serbia is, again, an interesting country. We are fighting for democracy. We are fighting for better future. And I think the students are deserving in Serbia real support. Thank you for your attention. I'm a psychologist in politics, and this is not very helpful because I have a lot of dilemmas. In politics, a lot of dilemmas are bringing you in an unsustainable situation. But I understand Ukrainians because I didn't talk about identity issue, but their identity is, part of their identity is a language, culture, music, but also territory where they are living. And when we've been facing with this forming former Yugoslavia, I was very sad because I lost access to the Adriatic Sea, which I consider our common sea. And I lost the memories. That was identity problem. And can you imagine Ukrainians? Right now, they are living in an extremely difficult situation, which means the new big power they consider as a friendly country, main ally, is telling them you have to lose Crimea, you have to lose Donbass, you have to lose Lugansk, you have to lose part of your territory, part of your identity. Is it sustainable? I'm not sure. I'm not sure. But at the same time, is it sustainable that Russia are going to withdraw their troops from the territory they conquered or they were putting their foot? This is not sustainable also. Somewhere we have to find a solution. Somewhere. I'm always in favor of compromise. I mean, this is the role and this is politics. I'm also in favor of compromise on Kosovo. I think that we have to make a step back because of international rules and to create compromise on Kosovo. I'm not a Serbian nationalist who is saying we have to rule Kosovo. We have to find a sophisticated solution also for Kosovo, not only because of Serbia, but because of international community. I mean, we have to think also about general and the common interest, not only about our own interests. And this is my suggestion to Russians and Ukrainians right now. Very much the world is depend on their solution right now. Thank you. Thank you.